Hello, this is Uncle Jim. Thought I'd do a little follow-up video on the Taurus TX22 and talk about the rear sight because I'm not happy with the rear sight, but it's at a cheap price point, so whatever. All right, so usually I do research before buying a pistol, but my son was on the phone and I said, do they have this? Get me one. So I didn't know much about the workings of it. I just know it's reliable and it's awesome. But the rear sight is plastic. And the one I got was the center portion of the adjustable sight was moved over to the left from the factory, and mine shoots hair right. I mean, I'm probably this far right. I just need a little bit there. And it could be me in the grip. The good news is, well, first of all, if you're buying one, look at the sight and see if it's centered right here. And you can't do nothing here because it has a fixed threaded screw, so you can't do your windage, and that's where I'm screwed, kind of. It's not a big deal shooting a 1/4 inch right, but still, I'm used to Kentucky. All right, the good news is they use the same dovetail and sight as the G3. All right, the 9mm, so they're everywhere. So you can go all the way up to a fiber optic adjustable sight set to like 79 bucks. I want to keep this at the bare minimum cheapo. Bone stock, just give me a decent sight, even a fixed sight. A lot of my other 22s have a fixed sight. My little Smith & Wessons, they're just fine. As long as they're on, they're okay. You can adjust for your, how far you're shooting and stuff, but as long as your windage is good, fixed sights to me are just fine. Less things to go wrong. And, so I did some research now that I have it. A little late, isn't it? Some people say the elevation will go off on you, and other people haven't had the problem with the elevation moving once it's set. I can see why. It's a very thin piece of plastic, and there's no metal in here, so maybe, but I didn't have that problem. It pretty much stayed true. Whatever ammo, it stuck to what it was doing, so that's okay. I can still deal with this, but I think I'm going to buy sight. All right, so the beauty is there's lots of sights out there for the G3, and this is very popular. It's been out a while. There's a guy that 3D printed a fixed sight, which you can move around. It's totally friction, but I couldn't find the 3D CAD for it, the Thingiverse or anything. He's just selling them for like $6, just a fixed black sight. However, there's fiber optic, which I'm really interested in because I got old eyes. Fiber optics, they're $13 for a set, okay? They're not the prettiest thing. They're kind of just square, but they're protected. They're $13 shipped. However, they only come with the same colors, whether they're green or red. And if I'm doing a color in the back, which I usually like just black, they don't mix them up, so you're stuck with all green or all red, but that's okay. They use the same hole here with their own screw, so it really didn't help me windage, but it might have a bigger notch to solve that problem. There's another one out there, fiber optic, not very expensive, maybe it's 25 bucks, and it uses its own set screw, so you can move it for windage. And it's a fixed sight, and that's good. So I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just deal with this. I don't know. I thought I'd share this with you now. Now that I've been looking around and researching on this, I was wondering how all this comes apart and what a pain it is, because it's going to get dirty. It's a 22. This comes apart easy. So you just use your plunger there, take the back plate off. You got your spring, firing pin, all these parts. This whole block right here will slide out, and you hold it together, and then it'll break open like a jigsaw puzzle, and everything comes apart without any pins. That is awesome. Then just leave your breech face in there. You can pull your extractor out. once this block's out. So everything slips out and falls out, and you put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. But you can clean those bits, especially the firing pin. Another thing I found out is these are acceptable for dry fire. I didn't know that, but I guess the guy that designed this said it's okay. And I saw where somebody dry fired several rounds, lots of rounds through it, and there was no ding in the side of the chamber. That's where you're going to ding on a 22. The Rugers are like that also. You can dry fire your Rugers. I've done it a million times, rifle, pistol. So I thought I'd update you on that. So that's really good. Absolutely love the pistol, except for that rear sight. And that mine shot right. All right, I complained about the bulge. To be honest with you, the bulge on the back of the grip, to be honest with you, when I was shooting it, I didn't even notice it. It didn't even come to mind. So it's a great feeling pistol, and so far it's working 100%. So there's that. Now, they give you this little loader to help you out, but you can 3D print, and they have it on Thingiverse and the other places where you have the CAD for it or whatever. You just plug and play. They make one that fits, that Taurus should have made it like this, that fits over the little buttons to bring it down instead of just top loading each time, you know. Actually, it's this way. Okay, because you got this little groove when you're putting it in. It's easier to bring the button down and just start throwing them in the groove. All right, so that's great. 3D print, the better one. So that's good. It's just the rear sight. I gave it a 10 out of 10, but I should have deducted a point for the rear sight. But mine didn't lose elevation. It just shoots left. And it must be this pistol, how the barrel's lined up or something. However, it shoots good. All right, I'm sure you guys are wondering, why haven't I shot this yet? You know, my son got this at the same time, and it's absolutely awesome. Well, he went down to the neighbor and shot it without me. So him and the sheriff neighbor were shooting it, and trying to think of my son's words. Oh, now I can't think of it. Anyway, they both thought it was totally awesome. They put tin cans out, and they were hitting the can every time. And they shot it in 357 and 38. I gave them a bunch of hollow point 357 factory stuff and some old Fiocchi plus P 38. Right there, 125 grain plus P, the old Fiocchi here. And my son said this shot so awesome in there. And it's a flat point kind of deal. And I think I have 3 boxes of this left. I got it free from somebody. And it's awesome. And it shot the 357 good. And I'm like, well, is the grip slippery? And he's like, no, we didn't notice. And he said it was awesome in both 38 and 357. So hopefully tomorrow I'll run some patches through it and I get to shoot it. And then I'll be all over the place. I won't be able to hit a tin can. But those guys did, and they absolutely loved it. They were very, very happy with this. So that's good. I asked them about the sights because you get no choice on these cowboy guns. If your blade is over or something, oh man, if you have to, you know, if you're not on, oof, you're screwed. But I always love trough sights. I like fixed sights on revolvers. That's just me. I like how they're smooth. You just bring it to the trough, it's right there. I prefer trough sights. So hopefully I'll love that. And I thought I'd give you an update. I hope I didn't leave out anything, but pretty darn easy to clean. I don't know if I want to push pins to take this out, but eventually when it gets really bad I will have to do it. The block I would leave alone because you have aluminum, you don't want to aug out those holes, and there's no need to take the block out. Just scrub it down. The extractor will come out with the rest of these guts super easy. So very happy other than the rear sight. Rambling, probably went too long. Thanks for watching.